everybody, it's Dana Joy. Welcome back. Today we're going to be playing with this adorable stamp set from Fawn called How You Been Candy Corn. And I'm going to do a little bit of Copic coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So usually when I Copic color, I like to use Copic Expressive paper. To me, I just find that using this paper, I get a better blend with my Copic markers. Now I know a lot of people use Nina Solar White paper and also the Georgia Pacific paper, as well as some other brands. But for me, this is my go-to paper anytime I'm using Copics. For my ink, I like to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It is my go-to as well for Copics because it does not bleed. So I've grabbed out an arrangement of yellows and some pretty orange Copic colors, as well as some cool grays for my cute little candy corns. Okay, I'm going to quickly share with you how I Copic color. When I first started Copic coloring, I used to always do dark to light. And then I realized that it works better for me if I put down a base color and then work from light to dark. It's just easier for me if I have down a base coat of color than to try to erase some of the dark color if I already have it down. So I am starting with my lightest color, which is Y08. And for me, it just blends a little bit easier. Now, I know a lot of people get a little bit nervous of Copic coloring, but don't. If you're going to have your Copic markers, use them. Take yourself some classes, educate yourself. Make sure when you have the products in your craft room, you are using them. That's why you purchase them. So next I'm going to come in with my Y15 and add in a little bit of shading. I'm not fully going over the Y08 I put down. I'm just adding in where I think some of the shading will be. Now I think these are the cutest little candy corns ever, and I love how they're all stacked on top of each other. I'm going to be sending this card to my daughter because she's a candy corn fanatic. So now I'm coming in with my darkest color, which is my Y18. And I'm going to put that, and that's going to be my heaviest shaded color. Now, like I was saying, if you're going to have Copic markers, make sure you use them. Practice makes perfect. I have been Copic coloring now since 2009. I don't call myself a perfect person when it comes to Copic coloring. I don't call myself a master, but I like to color, so I call myself a colorist. I don't teach classes in this, but I do what works well for me. And that's what I suggest you do. You purchase them, love on them, use them. Teach yourself on what works well for you. All right, so now I'm just going to blend everything out. And voila, we have some really cute candy corns. So I'm just going to blend everything out with my lightest shade, and this portion of the Copic coloring is going to be done. So now I'm going to let you guys listen to some music and watch the rest of the coloring. Now, since all of our coloring is done, I'm going to go ahead and grab out one of the adorable faces out of the stamp set and stamp that onto some of the adorable little candy corns. So this one here happens to have some cute little eyelashes and a cute little smiling face. So I'm going to use that on just 3 of the candy corns because I know my daughter will get a cute little kick out of this. All right, now I'm going to use the matching die to die cut this out. But I'm going to do a little bit of a trick to this. So I'm going to use some washi tape and run this through my die cut machine. Now this is die cut out, and we usually have the cute little white border, but I'm going to actually trim this out. Now I know you're probably thinking, hello Dana, why did you do that? You could have just cut it out by hand. But I find out sometimes that if I have the coordinating die, I just find it a little bit easier to cut if it's already closer to the line. I know, doesn't make any sense, but to me, it kind of helps me get a better feel of where I'm going to cut if the white space is more minimal for me. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this out and get busy on the next step. So once everything's cut out, I'm going to grab a black Copic marker, and any of the areas that I cut that were left white, I'm going to go ahead and darken them back up with black, just so my black lines around my candy corn is nice and sharp. Now that's because obviously we're cutting through white paper and I don't want to have that white showing. So this is just good to do anytime you're fussy cutting any of your images out to give that image a great black outline. Just run yourself a little black marker all the way around the image and voila, it looks really, really good. See, perfect. All right, now since that's done, I'm going to go back to my die and I'm going to cut this out of some orange fun foam and run this through my die cut machine. Now, instead of having that white around our image, we're going to have this great pop of orange instead. I love this, absolutely love it. So I'm going to grab some multi-matte medium and put that all on the back of my candy corn, and then pop this down on my fun foam. So that was the reason I was removing that white border, is so that I can have a fun little orange border for my candy corns instead. So you can do this with any stamp that you have, as long as you have the coordinating border. Just cut away the white part, die cut it again, and you can get a fun color instead. This is a super cute way to add a little bit of an accent around your images. All right, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now I went ahead and stamped this off camera to make a different little way to use your sentiment is stamp them together, but cut around the shorter sentiment and keep the longer sentiment long underneath it. Now, I went ahead and did my background already, and this is with some Doodlebug paper from the October 31st paper pad. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up my sentiment right across that banner part, which is a super easy card to put together. And then we can put our adorable little candy corns right on that panel as well. So you see how cute your sentiment can look if you stamp them together. But then if your sentiment is shorter than the one underneath it, crop it down and just leave the longer one longer, and it really looks like a cute little stacked sentiment. All right, so now I'm going to pop my candy corns right below it, and now I want to add a tad bit of Winka Stella. So this is going to be my last card just for a little bit. I am actually going to be having a surgery done this Friday, and I'm going to be out of commission for just a tad bit. But I wanted to wish all of you guys a very, very happy Halloween, and I will be back to card making and video making shortly. Hopefully this surgery will not take me long to recover from, and I'll be back hanging out with you guys in no time flat. But until then, you guys keep doing what you're doing, have fun, and I will be back to creating and making videos and cards for you guys shortly. All right, all of the supplies are going to be listed on my blog. I'll put the link down below. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you guys soon in another video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.